Good evening. Tonight we are covering part 7 of Megilat Ruth. We are learning as to how Hashem makes the event happen that at a first glance, it does not make any sense, or there doesn't seem to be any connection between what's going on. But Hashem makes events go around in a way that is unbelievable until what needs to happen happens. So in our last lesson, we explained how good neshamot are controlled by the evil powers. So how do the good powers, the kochot hakedusha, of purity, of holiness, how do they bring down a special neshama? So the only way that the kochot hakedusha, the powers of purity, can bring down a special neshama is, and without putting it in danger, without putting that neshama in danger, is to do it through trickery. It has to be done in a tricky way. To simply to trick the kochot hatum'ah, the evil powers. So to make it look like the neshama is going into an impure body, guf tameh, but really it's coming down to go into a guf tahor, into a pure, holy body. So this way, this neshama can fulfill its mission, its tikkun, and it can go to olam haba. This is a complicated process, and sometimes it takes many steps until it actually happens. For that special neshama to come down into a pure body, into a guf tahor. One of the, actually you should say two, of the pure neshamot that fell into the hands of the kochot hatum'ah, of the evil powers, are the neshama of David HaMelech and of Mashiach. It's not for nothing that his roots are from Moab, and the roots of Mashiach are from Ammon. David's neshama fell into 49 level of Tum'ah, which equals the word Moab, the name Moab. Mem equals to 40, Vav equals to 6, Aleph equals to 1, Bet equals to 2. So together comes to 49. These are the 49 level of Tum'ah. And that's where the neshama of David was. Now the tough job of the kochot hakedusha, of the pure, the holy powers, was to get David's neshama out of the grips of the kochot hatumah, which was an almost impossible task to achieve, especially since from David, Mashiach is supposed to come. Mashiach's job is to destroy the kochot hatum'ah, evil powers, starting from the Yetzer Hara, because that's how it all starts. The Yetzer Hara is the one who entices us, and the job will end by canceling death from the world. So obviously the kochot hatumah do not want this to happen. They want to still keep going. So what did Hashem do? So for that, again, we have to go back to the time of Abraham. Abraham knew of this secret, of this sod. He knew that through Lot. Lot was Abraham's nephew and also his brother-in-law. He was Sarah's brother. So Abraham knew that through Lot, David's neshama will come down into the world. how did Abraham know? Rabbi Meir teaches us that the name of a person tells us a lot about the characteristic of this person, and we should really pay attention to names of people. Abraham knew that the name Lot means cover, to cover up, meaning that Lot was covering up that David's and Mashiach's neshama, two neshamot. Lot also, hence, that he's from the side of the evil powers. Lot in Aramaic means klala, curse. So Abraham knew something was up there. Not good, but two good things had to come from him. And in Lot's case, it showed that his neshama belonged to the evil powers. How? How do we know that? And how did Abraham know? Because of this knowledge, Abraham cared very much for Lot. But Lot decided to go and live with the Reshaim in Sodom and Amorah. So that's how Abraham knew that Lot really belonged to the Kochot HaTum'ah, to the evil powers. And still, Lot moved away, and Abraham from far kept an eye on Lot. Lot was taken captive in the war of the 4 kings against the 5 kings. Abraham risked his life to go and save Lot. What for? Lot really did not deserve to be saved. He wasn't a good person anymore. But Abraham knew about the neshama of David. He knew about the neshama of Mashiach, and he knew that he had to get Lot out, away from. You had to free Lot from captivity. So Abraham goes to war. He puts himself in danger and his servants. 318. Actually, some Chachamim tell us that he only took Eliezer and himself, and that's it. And there's a midrash that says that actually they picked up soil, earth. They picked up and threw it at the enemies, and Hashem turned that earth into arrows, and that's how Abraham was able to win the war. But the bottom line is that he went. When he went, he wasn't asking for miracles, but he went. He risked his life to save Lot, so that the neshama of David and the neshama of Mashiach would come down into the world. So Abraham saved Lot and the people of Sodom and the king of Sodom. And later on, when Hashem decides to punish the people of Sodom because their sins had been overflowing, was too much, and Hashem decided to save Lot because of Abraham. Lot had 2 daughters. Those 2 daughters, as we know, they got their fathers drunk to have a child, to populate the world again. They did it, as Chachamim tell us, Leshem Shamayim, with the intention to populate the world. That's it. There was no other reason for them to do what they did. Their reasons were pure, if we can put it that way. No other reasons. On the other hand, Chachamim tell us, Lot knew what was happening, and he went along for his enjoyment. And that is why the oldest daughter called her son Moab, meaning May-Av, from my father. This child was born. From the younger daughter, she called her son Ammon, Ben Ami, meaning Ben Ami, the son of my people. the younger one was a little more discreet about how she named her son. She didn't want to be so blunt. From Moab came Ruth and then David HaMelech. And from Ammon came Naamah, the wife of Shlomo, who was the mother of the king after Shlomo, his son. And therefore, it went down to generations to Mashiach. Since Lot did not father a child to populate the world, Leshem Shamayim, he just did for his enjoyment, that's another reason why Chachamim tell us that men from Ammon and Moab are not allowed to be accepted as converts. But women are accepted. Why? Again, Chachamim tell us, since the daughters had pure motives to do what they did, to populate the world, because of that, women from Ammon and Moab are accepted as converts. So we see here how the evil powers were tricked through Lot. In Tehillim it says, Matzati David Avdi. I have found David, my servant. So Rabbi Yitzchak says, where was David? And why does it say Matzati? So where was David? He was in Moab. It means Ruth had to be taken out of Moab. She took herself out of Moab. And that's how David came into the world. But Matzati, limtso, it means to find something. Something is hidden, something is somewhere, and I'm looking for it. Ah, Matzati, I have found. I found something that was in hiding or hidden. So in Tehillim it says, I have found David. What does this mean? It means I found the neshama of David and was found in Moab. And later on, we know that the neshama of Mashiach came from Ammon. So in the zechut of this learning, Hashem should bless every single one of us, all of Am Yisrael, with bracha, hatzlacha, briut, zivugim, parnasa, simcha, nachat from our children and grandchildren. And may Hashem listen to all our tefillot and protect us from kochot hatum'ah, from the evil powers.